Talk all about it. All right, let's do this. Hello,
Do it.
and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, whatever. I am Jordan. With me is Luke. How are you doing, Luke?
Doing well.
We're back,
Welcome to the
baby.
show,
We're
one and
back.
all. We are back.
Had a little bit of
After
a break there.
Bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, it's our longest hiatus yet. A week.
Hey, we're doing a lot better than Regal's doing.
No freaking crap. We will get all over that. Oh my.
Nothing like starting it up on a high point.
No freaking joke. Oh gosh, with a real downer
It was
about the
fun
movies.
while it lasted, Regal.
Remember movies? Those were fun while it lasted.
Oh. Luckily, I got to go see one that I'll get to talk about.
Oh, great. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it. So yeah,
What you been up to, dude?
dude, not just
I haven't talked to you in a while.
there was a portion of it where I haven't been able to talk, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
improved.
crazy.
Yeah, okay, so I got
You told people already that you were going to have this done.
yeah, the wisdom teeth had happened, and you know what? I don't not recommend. 1 out of 10 stars. It or whatever, however
Yeah.
you want to say it, dude.
I
It
can only
sucked.
imagine.
I mean, I think when you're older and they're like in there, they're like out. They're like out and ready, saying, "Here we are. We're wisdom teeth." When they get pulled out at that point, and like the roots are like,
Yeah.
in
Oh,
your
yeah.
brain.
It's like 4-inch roots going all up into your head.
Wake up in the middle of the thing, they're freaking pulling.
They're fighting back, slapping the doctor. No. This is my human.
But like, okay, all jokes aside, I kind
That's
of
a terrifying
It
thought.
is a terrifying thought. like a sort of like a
Freaking alien kind of thing.
yeah.
It's inside me.
I like woke up during it, so it wasn't like a full like anesthesia where you're like
Oh,
completely
really?
out. And so like I woke up probably
But you were supposed to be?
yeah, it was conscious anesthetic, I believe is what they said. And so
Oh, so you're supposed to be awake. Okay.
sort of they were like this
Sort of.
this is what she told me, and it was bull crap. She was like, "You'll be awake with part of it, but you're not going to care." And I was like, "Oh, that's comforting." And I woke up and I was like, I care. I freaking care a lot. What's going on? Because like I felt,
I care a lot.
obviously it was like it was doing its job, but
Yeah.
at the
You
same
weren't in
time,
excruciating, screaming pain.
exactly. But at the same time, it doesn't feel great because like okay, say they
Yeah.
drilled the bottom 2 out and they yanked the top 2 out, and so I woke up.
I've had root canals, so I kind of know what it's like, but
Yeah.
not as terrible.
No, I mean I don't know. I've never even had a root canal, so who knows? Maybe it is, but
I think I've had 3 now.
oh,
Not great.
not recommend.
They drill with a giant drill bit, and I'm awake the whole time. He just numbs the area, so I see him go in with this thing and just
Oh God. Oh
like,
shoot!
you're still going.
It's coming out the bottom of your chin. Oops.
Oh, got a little tooth bit there on your lip. Let me wipe that off for you. I'm sorry, British people everywhere.
It's what we do, man. I don't know. That's who we are. But I felt like I woke up feeling the drill, and then with the vacuum in there, sucking
Yep,
up all the
yep.
bits of my teeth.
Yeah.
And then when they were like getting the top one ready to pull it, like the nurse kind of noticed that I was waking up, and she like grabbed my hand and she was like, "You're gonna feel a little pressure here." And I was like, "Yes, no."
This is going to be the worst thing you've ever felt. Prepare yourself.
It was awful, and like there was like a while there where I like when you can recall like how something felt, and you like remember how weird something felt, and I was like,
Mhm.
just like it haunted me. But I've
Yeah.
forgotten. I've since forgotten the feeling, so thank God. But either way,
Well, I'm glad it's over.
it's over.
I know it was really hard for my wife, so I can only imagine.
Watched a lot of stuff, played a lot of stuff, and
You
just
have to stay on the drugs to keep the pain off
sometimes. I mean,
afterwards.
I was on the narcotics. Like I got on it like a few times where I
Yeah,
probably have half the bottle
as
still.
little as possible.
Yeah, as little as
Yeah,
possible, but
it
usually
didn't make
like
you sick.
no, no, thank
Bethany was
God.
literally puking, so
Yeah, they
that's
gave
good.
me nausea pills for that, but thankfully I never experienced that. Um, it wa- it's just the mouth recovery is still ongoing. Like right now, it's just the jaw, like getting the jaw loose. And like now I can talk, so that's
Hmm.
great. But like eating is still kind of an ordeal. Not so much chewing, but like getting it in there. Like I really wanted a burger.
Yeah,
Like on
yeah,
Saturday, I really wanted a burger, so I had a double stack from Wendy's, and I was very very much like squeezing
yeah.
it down, and like
Hmm.
it sucked.
That's kind of how it is after the root canal too. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm good now. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. How have you
It had to
been?
be done. It
Had to be
had to be
done.
done.
An eventful week.
I've been other than the things that I've been watching and playing, I'll talk about. I've been doing some building. So since we podcasted, I built my sister. Well, I'd kind of started before, but it's a process. But I built her a bench that I just finished 2 days ago, and a dining table. So I got to deliver that to her, and I think it turned out really well. Many times I'm disappointed in myself because I think, like a lot of people, I'm my worst critic. But this one, I'm gonna give myself some slack. I think I did a pretty good job.
You take some sweet pics.
Yeah, I took a couple pictures. I let the ladies take care of that. I just get the work done.
I see. You keep it in your
Do what
memory.
they ask me. Yeah.
You just feel the swell of
It
pride
was a
as
lot
you
of fun,
look.
though. It's a lot of fun doing that. I enjoy it. I enjoy making some side income from it, but I just enjoy working with wood. Yeah,
The
it's just
whole
fun for me. So,
I created a thing. Wow.
yeah, there is something rewarding about that for sure. I think even if you're not a creative, it's just, I'm sure you feel the same way with music because that's like your big passion. It's
Hmm.
just, there's something where it's like, you know, I did a good job. I did something
Yeah.
and I feel like I did a good job. There's so many times when I think, like I said, we're very critical of ourselves and don't give ourselves enough slack. It's like, oh, I could have done so much better. But it's nice when it's like I can confidently say I'm happy with what happened. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's one of those things where it's like nobody else did that exact thing that I've done, and no
yeah,
one can really take that away from me.
yeah.
That's a good feeling for sure.
When it comes out and you're like, yeah, I sang that song well, or I built that table well. I think
Yeah.
it's good. It's all
Absolutely.
good.
Good. Good news. That sounds
Yeah.
very nice. Um, we'll do this later. I was gonna give the Xbox update on how we did because we didn't really talk about that because we didn't get a chance to. No, we'll talk about it. We'll do it as part
So
of our.
many, so much agony to talk about,
Oh
Jordan.
my stress, the stress.
Uh,
We'll talk
uh,
about our
we
Xbox
will.
pre-order
We will.
stories.
Upcoming. Stay tuned. Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned. That's the teaser. Um,
Keep your radio dial tuned to this station.
it's been so long, so I totally forgot who went first last time, but it was definitely me. I went back and I listened. So
Oh,
Luke,
really? Wow.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
guessing it was me.
you're
Okay.
up, man. What have you been
Okay.
watching slash playing slash listening to?
Um, I've been listening to a few things. There's a band that I listened to a little bit when I was younger, but I've been like kind of going back to them a little bit here and there. I think it's because they've been like popping up in some of my like curated playlists that I always rant and rave about. That I think podcast or Spotify. I think it's one of their like special sauce things that keeps me there. And so it's called The Story So Far is the name of the band. And
Okay,
it's
yeah.
not like a small band. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of them
Hmm.
if you were into that scene back in the day. I wanted I wanted to go back and see how far. I know they've been around for a while. I feel like
Let's see.
wow, 2010. Huh? I thought they were older than that. Hmm.
That's not that old.
Yeah, I thought they were like back to the early 2000s. Well, anyways, Story So Far is a band that is really good. They're very like emo-y indie, which is what I always listen to. I'm sure people who don't enjoy that are sick of me recommending this, but I'm sorry. It's how I am. So the story so far, the song that came up that this is a popular one anyways, but I'm enjoying it once again, is "Take Me as You Please," and yeah, they have a lot of good songs, but this was the one that popped up this week. So yeah,
Most
12 million
recent.
streams. I mean, it's like they're number 2 on the popular charts, but it just like popped up and it's just like, oh yeah. I think actually what it was I was listening to an acoustic rock, um, like acoustic indie rock. I think it was playlist that I've been listening to, and there was a lot of good like covers in there, and some older songs that you and I would know. And
Yeah.
yeah, this one popped up. And it's just like, oh yeah, solid rock, acoustic rock. Enjoy that. So
Heck yeah. I wish
highly recommend.
music was more like lenient in like their copyright laws in a way, because I wish we could, like, while we're recommending music, I wish we could play like clips.
Oh, I
You know,
know.
that would be so awesome. But yeah, we'd get.
There's like this. I'm sorry. I started before you finished.
No, no, go ahead.
There's this couple. Actually, it should probably be something I recommend. There's a couple on YouTube that I follow. They bought two large 40-foot shipping containers, and they put them up on piers, and they have built an entire house out of that frame. Like they've added on, extra areas, and yeah, and they bought some property out in Texas and did that. But the reason I bring that up is because they play all this music that I'm like, this has to be copyrighted, unless maybe they like know the band members. But this is like highly well produced, like indie music
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, I have no idea how they get away with playing this on YouTube. And they were fairly small when I first started listening to them, but they have well over 1 million subscribers at this point. So it's like,
How they do it?
they're like popping up but yeah, they have like all this great music in their transitions, like between, they'll be like talking about one part of the project they're working on, and then they'll like just have all these scenes of like their dogs and the cows and just like, their property, and
Yeah.
they'll be playing this awesome music. And yeah, it'd be so cool if we could just like shoot it in while I'm talking about it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Lawyers, tell us what we can do.
Please, lawyers, tell us how we can just go about recommending music. I mean, it's not like, I don't know.
We're trying to help these bands out.
Yeah. Sorry. One moment. I just wanted
There's a reason we're recommending them, because they're awesome. So yeah,
It just occurred to me I didn't check your
Be
audio,
cool.
but you're sounding
we
good.
could.
That'd be so nice. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Dude. Really. Yeah.
Because I'm listening to them right now, so I'm just imagining. I wish people could hear this while I'm
Yeah.
talking, just at least so you could get a feel then, and then people could decide like, oh, I don't want to listen to these guys, or these guys sound awesome.
Exactly. You know what? There's been a few things people who I've talked about before who've come out with new albums. Acceptance, they came out with their full-length album. So that's awesome.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm going to take this time to bring out something odd. And I'm not sure if I'm recommending this. I just want to talk about it. So there's a song called
Take it or leave it.
Take It or Leave It. I don't even know if I like this, but I really don't. But all right, so there's a song that came out, a new single called Feel Like I Do by Vin Diesel. I'm not sure if you've heard this yet, but Vin Diesel came out
You
with
heard this fella,
yeah,
Mr. D.
Mr.
That's
As
crazy.
Long As It's a Corona himself has come out with a single. Currently, it is his only work on Spotify. It came out.
I did not expect it to sound like this.
Me either.
I expected it to sound very different.
Like, that's the thing. I don't even know what I expected.
This is like some Diplo stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what I expected it to sound like, but it wasn't that, you know?
Huh. Let's see what the fans also like recommends.
Oh, goodness
Arizona.
gracious.
Wow.
What? Is it, you see
Great.
that there's John Cena, he sings too, and wait a minute,
The
what?
Midnight Kids. Didn't you recommend the Midnight Kids at one point?
No,
Crazy.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
But-
it's like Indie Electric.
Yeah. So it's very, very strange, but
Wow,
not,
Vin.
but it's not like bad is the thing. I listened to it, I was like, wow, saying Vin Diesel has a new single out, and the dread that kind of comes upon you, it's not warranted. It's not bad.
No, I actually like this song.
Yeah, it's
Pretty good.
yeah, it's got a catchy beat, catchy melody. It's not bad. His voice
It's
is
a weird album art. It's
His
just like
album
him
art is embarrassing.
throwing his head back, smiling. Yeah, listen to it, man.
Yeah. It's that feeling that we were talking about. I made something. Crazy though. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Good recommendation.
Is it gonna be in
Like I said, I
Fast
like
9?
this.
Great. I'm glad it worked out.
Kind of dumbfounded at what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I felt the same way. I was like, oh boy, here we go. My ears were like clenching their butt
Some
cheeks.
kind of awful rap is what I was thinking it would be. Somebody who doesn't know how to rap trying to rap. No, not at all.
No.
It's basically dance music.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the many things I've been watching and playing. And actually, I was starting to play something else. So I finished Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I've 100%ed both games.
Nice.
There's like, if it was PlayStation, it would not be a platinum. But I've done all the like checkmark challenges. That it's basically every goal that you'd have if you were in 2004 and playing them at that point. So done all that, secret tapes, all that stuff. Enjoy it. I mean, it's my same opinion. I did get to play a little bit of multiplayer, and that's so interesting. It's so weird to be playing against other people in this game that's like the most single player game in my mind. I'm just
how does
so
that
used
work?
to like sitting in my room as a child when I'm like 15 playing this completely by myself, trying to figure out how to find the secret tape and this stuff. And it's so weird to be like put in a lobby. So basically they throw you into like a map. I don't know if you remember the Area 51 map.
I don't.
I think it was at the
sort of
end of the first game, I think. Well, that was the one I played when I did the multiplayer. And basically I think there's multiple modes, but the one I was playing was just like trick attack, I think, or something like that. Just basically who by the end of the minute or 2 minutes, whatever it was, can have the biggest trick. And the winner ended up having more than 1 million points in one trick. Oh, it's so frustrating. I was up to like 400,000 and I fell. I embarrassed myself, Jordan. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no.
I brought shame to Improperly Packaged.
It happens to all of
But
us when we go online.
It's cool enough, it injects a little bit of life into a game that, it has limited replayability as it is. So I think it's cool that, they have a build a level mode as well. So I got to play a few of those and they're pretty cool. One guy has created a roller coaster. So you start by grinding on these rails. And what he did was he made them short enough to where if you remember the kiss the rail thing, it's like if you hit a rail like on the side or something, it's just like kiss the rail. So he did them short enough to where you just keep doing kiss the rail, so you don't have to balance. It's just like ding, 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 and you like climb up, and then you have a whole drop and like a whole like loop de loop, and yeah, it's a cool invention. And it also, when you play it, it unlocks achievements for you because it's like over 75 tricks, over 100 tricks. You get like several achievements when you play that. So kind of cool how people can kind of hack the system with the it's not really hacking, but like just making cool things for people to enjoy, as part of the like build a level. Same kind of thing with the Halo build a level. So yeah, that was cool. We also finished What We Do in the Shadows. I want to say there's 3 seasons. I think there's 3 full seasons, so we finished all that. And yeah, I would definitely recommend that show. Like I said, it's not a show that like blows my socks off or anything, but it's a funny show that I consistently laughed through all the seasons. And it might not appeal to everyone, but I'd say it's a solid B show for me. It's good enough for a watch, but not good enough for a raving review. So somewhere in that range. Everything can't be Titanic, or that's not a great example. I don't know why that was the only thing I could think
it's
of.
The pinnacle.
It can't be Dunkirk, I guess. One of my favorite war movies.
There you go.
It can't be a masterpiece.
No.
But yeah, it's good. And I'm just kind of going down my list here. I'm going to save that one. So I played Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice for a little while.
Okay.
I played it for about maybe an hour and a half. I can definitely understand where all the like hubbub came about that game. I think from the conversation I kind of heard online before I played it, there was a lot of talk about just how unique the game is, how it takes a perspective that not a lot of games have taken before, or maybe no games, honestly, about mental health. And I guess I think the game really tries to put into perspective what someone feels when they are being haunted by their own demons or outside demons, or their own like just trauma, whether it's family trauma. I haven't played enough of the game to understand exactly what the main antagonist of this game is dealing with, but
Hmm.
you definitely you feel the heaviness of what someone, I think of all the terrible shootings that have happened across the country, and what those people must have been dealing with. It's a terrible situation, for everyone. And that's the kind of things that comes to mind when I play this game. It's definitely a very dark thing that you have to go in with, like, understanding, this is a heavy subject for, in every way. It's heavy to be around someone who's dealing with something like that. And I can't even imagine what it's like to have to deal with something like that. It's
Yeah.
tough, very tough. So, yeah, I think, it's, I don't know that it's my type of game. It very much like borders on the Resident Evil style game, but without it's a puzzle game. It's a puzzle adventure game in the same way that Resident Evil is. You get to an area and you have to figure out how to do something to get to the next area, and meantime you're dealing with enemies. So it's good. I enjoy those kind of games. I think I enjoy Resident Evil. Has a little bit more of an arcadey feel. This has more of what I imagine, even though I haven't played like a Dark Souls style. Like,
Ooh.
it's like a hacking, enemies. Like I said, I haven't played Dark Souls, but it's yeah, it's challenging, but it's also puzzling. So
Okay.
it's cool. It's funny. There's parts of that game where I will say it looks graphically really good, but then other parts I'm like, that like really dipped right there, right at the beginning of it. Like, it looked very pixely, and I don't know if it's just because my Xbox is so old, and maybe things are being like degraded so that my Xbox can keep up. But yeah, there's parts of that that look so good, and then there's parts of that that don't look great. So it made me definitely look forward to seeing what all the improvements that
Yeah.
I just had it up. What's the name of that? Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory is going to make in the Hellblade Senua's Saga, I believe, is the sequel.
Hmm.
So yeah, I felt like I needed to at least experience that, being that it's one of the tentpole franchises coming out for the Series X here in the next year, whenever the next game's coming out.
Yeah. At some
So
point.
yeah, got to experience it for a little bit. Ted Lasso, that's the show we're still working our way through, and that's kind of the opposite of Hellblade.
Yeah.
It's just this lighthearted, very go lucky, happy guy. That yeah, it's a good show. Like I said, I think it's definitely one where Apple TV Plus gets a thumbs up from me. So well done.
I keep seeing
Um,
previews for that one. It does look really funny.
Yeah, I think at some point you should try to get Apple TV Plus. I
Hmm.
believe they're saying that there's going to be an Xbox app, so I think it should
Oh.
make it a little easier for you. There's supposed to be smart TV apps, but I don't know how good of progress they've been making that. I thought there was going to be one for your Vizio, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully that comes out, so it'll be a little easier for you to watch it. We went to the theater, like I said, and what we actually saw was an old movie,
Oh.
and one of my favorite movies, which is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that movie, and yeah, it was so fun to watch a movie that I've never gotten to see in theaters, on the big screen, with all the sound and massive picture, and just all the things that you and I both love about theaters. And it's very sad to hear that they might be shutting down again, or they will be shutting down again. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I realized watching it that I still think it's my favorite Star Wars
Yeah.
movie, but I don't know. I was thinking back on everything that happens in Return of the Jedi, and I was thinking, man, those two movies are really close in my mind, because Return of the Jedi is so good too. So yeah, I kind of wish I'd gotten to see them both, like back to back.
Yeah, I was probably surprised they didn't do like any sort of like marathons, like with either Star
Yeah.
Wars or Lord of the Rings or something like that. I'm surprised. Been the
And
time.
of all the movies I did get to see since they've reopened, that was the busiest one.
Wow.
It's crazy. we went to Tenet, like, what was it? It was the sneak preview or whatever. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
like Tuesday or something. We went as early as you could, and maybe that was one of the reasons there weren't as many people, because maybe people weren't paying attention and didn't realize it had come out that early. But you would think that anybody who was coming to theater would probably be as enthused as we were, especially to see, Christopher Nolan's big epic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there was more people in the Star Wars movie.
Jeez, strange.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
Could have been the reduced
still,
price too. I think it's like $5 if you so. That's something you don't notice if you have
yeah,
unlimited. I
yeah,
guess.
don't ever notice any of that.
Yeah.
um, so the last thing that I have saved is the HBO. I guess it would be miniseries. I guess that's kind of a strange one. It's 3 episodes. It's called The Third Day, and I don't know what Jordan and I are going to do. We're in talks about maybe having a mini episode, or maybe even just a segment of one of our shows about it. But yeah, it's a show. It's another one that I'm not saying it's like the best thing I've ever seen or anything, but it's very interesting. It definitely makes you think. There's a lot of depth to it,
Mm.
in both the way it's shot and in the way the story is told. Um, yeah, it leaves you with a lot of questions in your mind. Kind of nothing on this same par, but kind of in the same vein as Lost, where it's just like, I wonder what they were trying to say by that. There's a lot of like innuendos and foreshadowing and foreboding, and all those elements play in, and I really enjoyed the way the cinematography was. There was a lot of like half blurred out, half focused shots that I think were trying to tell a story there, that if not telling a story in it, but at least like setting a mood that, like, I don't know, it kind of led you into the next thing. And yeah, I can't wait for you to see it. I can't get into what it's really about, because I think honestly, if I said much, I don't know, it would ruin a little bit of the experience for Jordan. So I want you to go in like freshly, not having
Okay.
any idea what this is about. So it's an interesting story. I'll say it's starring Jude Law. It's yeah, he I think he does a really good job. I've always enjoyed Jude Law performances, from silly movies like Alfie to roles like um, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I don't know. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
So he fit this role well.
I will be watching it in short
Oh,
order
there's
for
another
sure.
episode. It's not over.
Okay, so
Okay.
there's more.
That's insane. What? Wow. There's another episode. I can't believe that, because yeah, I can't say much, but in the last episode, it clearly seemed like it was over.
Oh wow.
Wow. So yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so I wonder how
Okay,
many there's
so
gonna be.
it's saying like all these leading people are in 6 episodes, so I'm guessing it's a 6 episode thing. So
Okay.
wow, so it's not done. Okay,
All
well,
right.
I thought it was very interesting as a 3 episode show, but
Wow.
okay, we'll see
Take
how it
that
goes.
times two, baby. Hold on to your butt.
So yeah, The Third Day, HBO miniseries, very interesting. So I'll be very interested to see where it goes. I thought for sure it was over.
That's an interesting feeling. Thinking a show's over and being like, oh, it's only half over.
I would say more, because like there's like reasons I thought it was over too,
Uh
but
huh. Yeah.
I can't say it. So yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right. That's a plan,
What you been up to, dude?
dude. So much. I'll try not to be overly long, but okay. So wisdom teeth out. Basically, all I've been doing is like watching and playing and stuff. So I beat 2 games. So up in my room, where I was like kind of just laying down, like that's the thing. When you have your wisdom teeth out, you're not like sick. Really, I wasn't sick. I felt like crap. I didn't want to do anything. My face
Yeah,
feels like garbage. I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I'm not gonna eat. So I'm just gonna lay in bed,
yeah,
and that's what I did. So I laid in bed. So that made me kind of play a lot of Switch. Also, with the new consoles so close, there is something about the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. For some reason, I am way less enthused to touch them. I'm just like, okay, all right. It feels like
You are not long for this world.
exactly. I mean, we've had some good times together, but so anyways, I've been playing Switch.
Got that new hotness though.
Yeah, got that new hotness coming. Um, so I beat 2 games. So part of the Super Mario 3D All Stars, I played Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is I'm not going to talk too much about it, but all I'm going to say is it's a fantastic game. I think it's a 10 out of 10. Like playing it, I'm just like, this game for what it's trying to do is pretty perfect. I mean, no game is perfect, but it's pretty perfect, and
Yeah.
it's great playing it
So
in HD. And
I'd been wanting to ask you, Jordan.
oh
So
yeah,
what do you think? What do you think about how Nintendo handled this whole thing? Because on some of these other podcasts, I'm hearing a lot of beef with how Nintendo handled releasing these like new games, which are not new games. They're just re-releasing them to the Switch.
hmm I'm of 2 minds. I mean, like I definitely see the point because like you look at how other people will do these celebrations of these old games. Like you look at the Crash Insane trilogy or Spyro Reignited, and they took these games and they completely remade them.
Or
And they
Final Fantasy as
Final
the
Fantasy VII, and they're making these games. They're making them
epitome.
gorgeous. And there was a lot of talk about these games about, oh man, are they gonna make a Mario 64 and remake it, make it in the Mario Odyssey engine? I mean, dude, that's what I wanted. That's
Yeah,
definitely what I want. But they didn't do any of that.
probably what everyone wanted.
Yeah, everyone wanted that. So when they came out and they're like, okay, no, they're all the same games, up-resed. We made Mario Galaxy's controls make sense on not the Wii, and yeah,
Hmm.
that's what you get. And you get a music selection thing, and that's pretty much it. Other than a few slight improvements that are barely even mentionable. And so, I mean, I'm of a couple minds. I mean, one, I am just thrilled to be able to play these games on the Switch. I'm thrilled to be able to play some of these games that are just kind of hard to get a hold of. And I had an amazing time playing Mario Galaxy, and it is so great playing it in
Hmm.
HD. But yeah, everyone's complaints are valid that it feels like it's a missed opportunity because this isn't going to happen again in like who knows how long. And so they're not going to come around in 2 years being like, never mind, here's the full thing you wanted. No, I mean, that's
The
just,
Gold Master. Yeah.
yeah, right. And so it's at that point where it's like, oh, it's not going to happen, at least not for a very long time. And so I see the disappointment, I really do. And I share a little bit of that, but maybe not as much because, yeah, these games do have a lot of value. I mean, like, just me playing Mario Galaxy, I mean, that alone maybe isn't worth $60, but I was just like, wow, what a game. That is such a full
Hmm.
game. I 100%ed it and got every star, got the secret ending, unlocked Luigi, and I was just like, wow, I feel so fulfilled. And now I have Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine to beat. And those are big games too. And so there's a bit of me that feels good about it because they're such good games and I get to play them kind of in a new light, if not, even though they're not like completely redone. And but yeah, I get a lot of the complaints. I really do. But I don't feel most of that. I feel pretty positive. I think honestly, coming from Nintendo, I'm surprised they didn't find a way to make it even weirder and release each one for $30 and it be more of like a $90
Yeah.
thing to get all three.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it past them. So I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not just trying to be like a Pollyanna about it. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
They didn't screw us that bad. Yeah.
No, it didn't screw us that bad. It's a missed opportunity. I do agree with that, but a missed opportunity that I was happy to indulge in, at least.
I guess my question, at least this year, it feels like, well, where's your time been spent?
Yeah,
Because what they've had one game come out.
yeah. Nintendo's library this year is pretty.
Like they've had
dinky.
Animal Crossing, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of effort went into that, but apart from that, it's like,
Yeah, they haven't had any like giant, well, giant games other than Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was huge for them, but other than that, not too much. I mean, not too much, and not too
yeah.
much is coming. I mean, not this year at least, unless there's this ridiculous surprise. I mean, they have a Zelda spinoff coming called Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which it's not a full Zelda game, but there's a lot of hype surrounding it because it's a Breath of the Wild prequel that they're contextualizing in this in the Warriors franchise. And I'm interested in it, but yeah, they don't have their huge fall title or anything really. So yeah, Nintendo's having a weird year for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of games coming. I mean, everyone's still waiting on Metroid 4. Everyone's still waiting on Bayonetta 3 and obviously Breath of the Wild 2. But yeah, they're just nowhere to be seen. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how many of those come next year.
We'll freaking see. Goodness gracious.
We'll see.
But yeah, I beat that, and I also beat another Nintendo Switch game that I started a while ago. I talked a lot about it before, so I'm not going to talk too much now. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This is I spent 50 hours and I beat the main story. I didn't 100% it because it's a huge game. You cannot 100% it without spending at least like 100 hours. I don't think I'm going to do that. But this is a full-on big old JRPG. It's a big game and it has a big story. Like the story is big. Like the music's great, the location's great, the world building's good. There's one thing in the game that holds it back for me where I'm just like this, when you play a game and you're like, I want to love this game, but there's something about it that's holding it back for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's the combat. I can't fully get behind the combat. It's like this weird. It's almost kind of like how World of Warcraft is, from what I understand. There's a lot of, there's the enemy, get him, and then you kind of like give orders somewhat to your team, and not in a Fire Emblem strategy game kind of way. I like that. But it's kind of like this weird in between where you're like, go get him. And then you're like, okay, now I'll do that move. And he kind of like auto attacks. And like, I want to get hyped every time there's a battle because the story is really good. The music's freaking slapping. And it was just and I just want to be like, come on. Yeah. And like beat him up. And I'm just like, okay, get him. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That move. No, don't. Yeah. And it's hard, too. It's very technical. And I think my wife would actually enjoy it more than I do. It's very mathematical, very technical. But, yeah, the combat's not for me. But everything else, like, still. Because I finished the game, finished the story, and I had this sense of completion where I was like, yeah, I'm glad I played that game. But, yeah, there's something about it that holds it back from being completely for me, But I beat it, so that's good. So on to a couple shows that I watched, HBO shows actually. I watched from front to back Watchmen, the Damon Lindelof produced and wrote HBO show.
You weren't keeping up with it before?
No,
this is your first time.
I watched one episode, and then I completely just kind of was like, something happened. I don't know. I just didn't. And you know what? It's really good. It's Okay, so it's kind of weird because it's kind of up and down for me. There's times where the show is like, wow, this episode is fan-freaking-tastic. This lives up to the Watchmen name. This is great stuff. And then there's some episodes where I'm like, okay, this is good, but it feels different. It doesn't feel like it's a part of what I would expect from Watchmen. Like there's some weird mischaracterizations here and there. There's some dropped storylines here and there. And from what I understand, this is it. There's no more. This is all that he wanted to make, and it's it. It really doesn't feel that way.
Did he direct all the episodes?
I don't think I think he just wrote it all. I don't know how much directing he did, but Lindelof, I think he wrote every episode. But for what it is, I'm glad I watched it. It's short enough. It's not like a big thing. There's for the few things that they did that were just, I think, kind of genius. Like there were some episodes where I'm like, whoa, that was such a good idea, and that's so well executed. And there's some times where I'm like, okay. Like for instance, the ending felt really comic book tropey to me, which I love that crap. I'm all about it, but that's not what Watchmen is. And so when you have these villains that are really obvious and really like kind of cackling and just, ha, yeah, I'm the villain, you know, it's just like, what am I watching? And so a little bit of a disappointment at times, but stellar in other times. So never bad though, you know, just either pretty good or great, freaking great. So it's really good. I do recommend it. If you see it and it looks like something you want to get into, if you like Watchmen, give it a watch. I did not mean to do that. Lastly, I've watched some other stuff, but this is the last one I'm going to talk about. I started watching Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft Country. Oh man. All right. I don't know about this one, man. I really don't. This is one of the, some reason to me, one of the strangest shows I've ever watched. And honestly, it's not because I'm watching the show and I'm like, wow, this is real strange, real zany, real confusing. That's not why. I mean, honestly, there's times where I'm like, the show feels really straightforward, like almost too straightforward sometimes. But okay, so I watched 6 episodes of this. I think they're on episode 8, so I'm a couple episodes behind, I guess. I'm kind of wrestling back and forth as to whether or not I even want to continue. I'm on episode 6 of season 1. I feel like I'm on season 6, episode 1. Because it just throws so much at you constantly. Like, okay, so episode 1 happened, then episode 2 happened. Episode 2 felt like a season finale. I was like, what? They're going here now? And I think it's not a good thing. I mean, usually shows screw around way too much to the point where you're like, just get stuff done. But I was like, holy freaking crap, I barely knew this person. Now they're gone, and it's like a big deal, but I don't know. It's like almost like a horror movie thing, but this show, but it's pulpy. So like its inspiration is old school horror. And it's not scary.
I'm looking through like screenshots of the show.
Yeah, there was literally a moment in the show where I was like, oh, was this 2 episodes, like its own arc, and now we're on to something completely different with these same characters, and like almost like it's a Twilight Zone kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I guess not, because like after a couple episodes were done, it like moved on to do like this haunted house episode, and I was like, wait, what? Are we not going to even talk about?
You look like through these screenshots, it's like, what is going on?
Yes, it's almost like 10 shows fell on top
so
of each other.
So many things happening.
There's
much. Monsters. There's like people in a band dancing and playing music.
So much. And there's parts of the show where I'm like watching it, I'm like, wow, this is really well made. I like the actors. I like the characters. I like the feel of the show. But I feel like...
Is it like any other shows?
What?
Like, would you compare it to anything else?
That's the thing. No. I mean, there's elements that feel familiar, but like, as far as the flow of the show, I feel like a leaf in the wind where I'm just completely out of control. I don't have... What am I latching on to? You know how we can kind of feel the groove of a show? You're like, here we go. I'm into the mystery. I feel like we're heading somewhere. And this show is making so many left turns where I'm like,
people covered in blood in one scene, and then like people like doing just normal things in another scene.
That's the
screenshots.
And it's weird because the characters in this show, like something crazy will happen. Freaking mind-blowing, crazy. I will never be the same after this has happened. And then
gosh.
And then the next episode.
Insane.
And it's like
giant monsters across like a hellscape.
And then like
alien.
Okay.
Crazy.
It's crazy. But like the next episode will happen, and it's almost like, okay, we've kind of moved on. And
go back to the Brady Bunch kind of stuff.
So much of that. And then it like makes me think, oh, is this like a new reality? Almost like that was one possibility. And then they reference the thing that happened offhand. I'm like, oh, I guess freaking not. What in the world?
Is it doing like time traveling mechanics?
No, it's linear. It's completely linear. It does not go back. It just goes forward. but
Wow.
it's odd, and I don't know what to make of it. It's getting good reviews, but and I get why, because it is well made, and it's interesting, but at the same time, man,
It's crazy.
it's been in so many different directions. I don't know if it could stand still long enough to actually get its claws in me, and or get its hooks in me,
Yeah.
I should say, because I'm just like, yeah. But so that's why I say I don't know about this one, man. I just
It's
don't.
crazy how shows can be that way. Like
Yeah.
you have such polar opposites of like one show. It's like this just didn't catch me. It just wasn't interesting enough. And then you have something like this that looks like it's too interesting.
Yeah, that might be it. Maybe it's too interesting for its own good, because
Like you need to like focus it in on like one thing and be like, this is a cool like trope that we can like explore
yes.
and not try to do all kinds of things at one time.
Yeah, it's like they
Not that
solve.
I've seen it, but
No, you're pretty much kind of spot on. It's like they go in a completely different direction. That thing gets solved over the course of an episode, but then this other thing that you thought was solved, I don't know. It just I'm not sure if it works. I mean, maybe it could be one of those things where it's like if I stuck around and I saw the season finale, I'm like,
maybe it'll
oh,
improve.
yeah, or I'm seeing it come together in a completely new way that I did not anticipate.
But it's,
at the
are you
time.
going to get there, right?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
freaking question. But yeah,
Shows can be tough. They really can be.
I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine, even especially a show like this where you have so much stuff you want to do and you want to establish this tone. I can imagine it's really hard to make this show, but maybe they need to be less ambitious. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our topics. We don't have a specific topic. We're just kind of going over some stuff that happened, but we teased it before, so let's talk about some Xbox stuff, shall we, Luke?
Let's do it.
So, I mean, last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we talked about, here it comes. Tomorrow the pre-orders are dropping, so we haven't had a chance to update.
We're on the precipice of destiny.
The
I think is what I said.
I think that is what you said. So, okay, let's do this. It was a Wednesday afternoon. You go ahead and start us off, Luke. What was your experience like pre-ordering the Xbox?
It was Tuesday, wasn't it? No. Yeah,
it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. You're right.
Jordan, come on. Let's get it right.
Come on. It's been so long ago. Sorry.
So I work like most people, and I did not take off work for this, and I just basically relied on my phone because that's what I had with me. I don't sit at a desk, so I found a parking lot and parked my work truck, and I actually, to be honest, I had to drive around for a while because I kept checking my like speed checker to like see what kind of connection I was getting.
Oh man.
This is how serious I was about it.
Yeah.
So I was like in one neighborhood, I literally drove around for like, so I actually, let me rewind. So I showed up an account and I was going to do an account, and I'm like, okay, it's, what was it? It was 11 o'clock here. So it was like 10:35, 10:40 or something. And I'm like, I probably have enough time. And then I stopped, put it in park, and I'm like, no, I don't have enough time. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go. Like, I don't care right now. Like, this is too important. I'm not going to, risk the fact that I could miss this. It ended up not mattering one bit, but I drove around like looking for a connection, like just to make sure. I was like, okay, I want to make sure my cell phone at least has several bars, not just one bar of service while I'm doing this.
Teetering on a dead zone or something.
Yeah. I found a spot, and then I started waiting, and I had, a couple of my mistakes. So my wife has a red card and has an account with Target. That was one mistake. I did not sign in with her. I did not have her card. I didn't have any of that information. So, which, wasn't the end of the world, but I should have at least signed into the Target app so that I was ready to order on Target. My biggest mistake was I was way overconfident. I thought that I would be able to log into Microsoft.com or Best Buy's app, as you and I had talked about in the morning, and just be able to add it in my cart, check out, and I'd be fine. That was completely ridiculous to think that would actually be. So this was the worst buying experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Mm.
I've never experienced the internet shut down in the way it shut down on Tuesday, whatever that day was. Was it September 10th? Was it? Was
It's
it the 10th?
it was the 22nd, I
What day
think.
was it? 22nd?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that day was, I've never seen the internet shut down like that. That was insane. Every store I went to, Sam's Club, the what is it? The store that the military can buy on the base.
Yeah.
Every website I went to was having all kinds of issues. Walmart, when I logged in, was sold out 10 minutes after 11 o'clock, completely sold out. Now, I don't think they were actually sold out. I think it was just a thing with their website.
Yeah.
Best Buy basically, I know you know a lot of this, but Best Buy basically didn't even start their pre-orders until an hour after 11, and they whenever you'd go to that, it just kept saying coming soon, well after 11 o'clock when it was supposed to go live. Sam's Club had it on sale, and that was my second choice after trying literally hundreds of times. I joke you not. I would sit there and add it to my cart in Target or Sam's Club. I would go through the checkout process if I was lucky enough to get into the checkout process.
Mm.
And most of the times it would say this item is either sold out, which when I went back, it did not say it was sold out. It just, when I was checking out, it was saying it was sold out. It would either bounce me out of that, or it would get all the way to the complete your order and the button would not work. So I was just sitting there hitting the button over and over again. And then eventually the screen would go blank, and then it would just go back to the normal website. Like I wasn't even in the checkout process
Yeah.
anymore. And so, yeah, I spent a solid 48 minutes trying to check out from every website on the internet. And at no point did the Microsoft website load. It was basically on 405 or 404 or 508 or whatever the different error codes are for basically the server has no room for you to get on it. At no point did Microsoft ever load for me. And I think after getting on Microsoft later, what they were actually doing was linking you to outside third parties to buy it, which I don't understand because they weren't doing that before. And as our friend CJ said, the whole all access thing was basically just not able to even work.
Oh, poor
And I
CJ.
guess what they're saying now is that, well, CJ ended up just buying them. So
Yeah.
CJ got two, so he did well. So let me get to the end of the story, because there's all kinds of like me describing agony. It was terrible, basically. But so the end of the story is somehow Mario 64 tweeted out several links several times for new pages that were going up from Amazon, new pages that were going up for Target, and then he posted one for Amazon, and it worked. So Amazon was not working for me at all. And then he posted another website, and I guess they had put up a new page, and that finally worked. I was able to go through the checkout, and because I was already logged into all my Amazon stuff, it was much easier for me to just go, yep, buy, 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 buy. And I was able to get through that, which, thinking back on it, it kind of makes sense. I mean, Amazon being, the AWS company,
Yeah.
it would make sense that they would have the most server space. So I don't really understand why it wasn't working before. But then again, Microsoft is the Azure company, so you would think that they would have, server technology down. I mean, they're trying to do cloud gaming, for God's sakes. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It was weird to me that I couldn't even log on to the Microsoft website. So in the end, I got that. But then I went about my work, and our other friend, Jason, friend of the show, Jason, was
So
having
Jason.
the same kind of nightmare as me, but he didn't quite have the intensity I did, where I just kept trying over and over again. I'm like, I'm not going to let this beat me.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this console because I'm going to be kicking myself for the next year or however long, 6 months, until I can get one. So I'm going to buy one. And so I logged in at 1 o'clock or 1:30, somewhere around there, and he still couldn't get one. And I was like, you just need me to buy one? So I went on Best Buy, and I had done this before, and it was able to let me just add it. This was like at 1:30. Like I said, this is hours after it's gone live. I was able to add it to the cart, check out, no problem. Just like
Wow.
normal. Just
You
like the Best Buy
sneak.
app normally works. It's so strange. It's the strangest thing. So I now have two Series X's, one Amazon and one Best Buy. And Amazon then, like a week later, sent me an email saying that, basically, we don't know when you're going to get your console. So sorry. So basically, I don't know when Jason's going to get his console because let's be honest, whatever one comes is going to be
Is the
mine.
one that's going to be in your living room. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get him his as soon as I can. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Best Buy is giving me a lot more hope with the messages they're putting.
Yeah.
They said we will ship by the release date, which I guess is them promising we may not get it to you on the release date, but we're going to ship it by the release date, which
Yeah, which is
sucks.
yeah.
But okay, I'm just glad to have 2 pre-orders because I've heard a lot of people, it seems like, just had no luck at all. And these are like big podcasting people who you would think would, you know, for instance, the guy I was telling you about, one of the big Windows insider guys, Paul Thurrott, he did not get one on the podcast.
Crazy.
I was listening to him. He wasn't able to get one. And if anyone should get one, it should be him. He's like the Microsoft guy. So yeah, I'm just thankful that I got one. But how'd it go for you, Jordan?
Well, okay, so I'm after the Series S. That is the console me and my wife agreed upon, and we are, looking forward to trying to get that. And so basically, we're ready on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm at work actually. I have my computer open. I'm on a PC actually, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like on a PC. I got my F5, got my Wario 64 on the Twitter right on my phone. I'm ready, and so. Here it comes. 11 o'clock happens. Hey, Target and Walmart are live. Okay, I try Target. I'm like, okay, Target. I don't want to tangle with Walmart. It's okay, Target. Let's go. And so I'm like, okay, there it is. Add to cart. And as soon as I do that, all right, it's not in the cart. Why isn't it adding to the cart? Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, great. So go to the cart. Not in the cart. Go in the cart. Not in the cart. Oh, it's in the cart. Not in the cart. Okay, it's in the cart. I get a checkout process. Let's go. Not in the cart. Okay, what in the world? Okay, all right. So got in the cart. Okay.
I was sitting there just tapping it.
Add
to cart. Add to cart. Add to cart. Add to cart.
Going. So, all right, get in the cart. Go to checkout. I'm like, oh my god, I'm in checkout. Okay. Yep. Oh, holy crap! I got input
now
everything
I'm good.
I need to do. I'm good. All right, place order. Here we go. Place order. Boom. Crash. Nothing in the cart.
Ugh.
What in the so at that point I'm like,
that happens so many times, man. My phone was like so hot. I had to like take it out of the case. I was like holding it up to the AC. I must have drained like half my battery. You see Wario 64, he actually tweeted out my phone died from all the notifications.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That dude needs to turn off his notifications.
I can't even imagine.
Retweeted so many times.
Jeez Louise. So at that point, I'm like, hey, Target's done. All right, I'm off to Walmart. Oh, they're sold out.
Target's done.
They're sold out. Walmart
sold
out.
They were sold out immediately.
Okay, well, that didn't work. And so here I am waiting on Best Buy, just waiting on Best Buy, reloading the page. Okay, again, an hour. Hour hits.
Yeah.
Very similar experience. I click on it. It says, oh, I'm sorry. This item's too popular. What? Basically saying.
That's what it said?
Something along the lines of,
wow,
this item as too many people are trying to get it. And so I'm like, okay, so I keep trying. And then I'm like, okay, it's in my cart. Let's go. Not in the cart. Crap! Come on! And again, the same song and dance. I don't get quite as far. I get to the, okay, we're shipping it to you, right? And I was like, right. It's not in the cart.
I don't care. Do anything.
And so through all this time, I have tabs open, right? And I'm trying to load the Microsoft store, and it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh my god, it's loaded. It's freaking loaded. All right, let's go. Add it to the cart. Oh my god, I don't have any of my shipping or my credit card information on this. Yeah. Holy crap. And so with everything,
that is one nice thing about the iPhone, because when you go to those fields, it has them pre-filled, and you just hit them.
Oh, that is so
nice. Tap, and it just fills them all in.
Yeah, I had to type it all in, and with everything that I updated, freeze,
oh, I bet.
Crash. Okay, that worked. That got updated. And so by the time I'm like, okay, let's do this.
So frustrating.
I'm ready. Go to check. Back to the freaking start. And so here I am. At this point, I'm basically like, I don't have a Sam's Club account or anything like that. And so I'm like, all right, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess
last hope.
I guess I'm not going to really get one today. And so I kind of just went about my day for a little bit, and I was checking my emails, and then I see, thank you for your order from Target.
Did you get to the point where you were hitting checkout and it just
Yeah,
wasn't loading?
I was at the point where I said place
I was
order.
so afraid that was going to happen for me because I hit that button so many times and
Yeah,
like, I guess I didn't order it.
yeah.
What if one day, Jordan, I get like 7 emails like Target thanks you for your order.
I mean, I would think
You
you
owe
would
us
notice the
$100,000.
$3,500 that exits your account.
No, Jordan, I wouldn't even notice it.
No, you're rolling in it, man. Do you notice when someone takes 1 grain of rice away from your rice bowl?
Exactly.
But yeah, and so I was like, okay, so the first order that I tried went through, and I struggled for probably an extra hour needlessly. But I did get it. I secured it. I called them, and I was like, just to make sure, because like the splash page saying congratulations,
How many orders
ordered
do
this.
you have from me?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, no, okay, you ordered this. Yes, we've confirmed. This is correct. Blah, blah, blah.
They probably had so many of those calls.
I'm sure. Oh, my God. But yeah, I did secure a Series S by the skin of my teeth, I guess. But yeah, I was able to secure that. And from what
I've
I
never
hear,
seen the internet struggle like that.
ever in my
was
life,
nuts.
it was chaos and it was awful. But I believe that the allocations for the Series S, at least if GameStop, oh, by the way, yeah, there was like this weird queue for GameStop. I didn't even get close with that.
Yeah. That made
Gosh.
me not want to use that page.
No, I
What?
was like, what?
I
And
don't want to be in a virtual queue.
yeah, but from what I understand, the Series S, they like did fewer allocations of the Series S for at least this cycle of pre-orders. There just wasn't as many, and Sony kind of did a similar thing with the all digital version of the PS5. So
Probably smarter, honestly,
yeah,
because those probably are going to not be as in demand as the other ones.
and save them for holidays. Holidays, those are going to be
Yeah.
the big items for sure when parents are
Yeah.
like trying to get their kids this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did it. The 10th of October, we're almost
Honestly,
just 1
it
month
was
away.
worse than I feared.
Oh,
Jordan.
100%.
My fears were not
100%.
only were confirmed, they were underestimating how bad this was going to be.
Oh my God. Because, like, with the PS5, I mean, like, I just waltzed on in and I freaking got it. I think, like, because I was paying so close attention, it actually worked in my favor. The fact that it was a surprise. But with this,
Yeah.
everyone's ready. The bots are ready. The resellers are
gosh.
ready. Everyone's here. And so just, man, a catastrophe for the websites. For the websites that were probably trying their best. It was just doomsday for all those websites. And oh my God, I would have hated to be an IT man working for any of those stores.
Ugh. Just crazy. It made me almost want to be at GameStop waiting in that awful line that I didn't want
Yeah.
to be at. But it was like,
Man.
at least it would be guaranteed then,
Yeah, exactly.
I
That,
guess. as long as you weren't too far back in line.
yeah.
Hopefully, anyone past the point at which you wouldn't get one, they just go up and say, "You're not going to get one. Just go home."
Why wouldn't they do that? Seriously, because like and from what I've heard, they didn't do this for the PS5 because obviously it was a surprise. But from what I've heard for the Xbox, there were signs outside the door saying exactly how many were allocated to that store.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why anyone like beyond that would wait, but apparently they did. It's crazy, but yeah.
I'm sure they got pissed.
Oh, I'm sure. And I've heard stories of people online who got out there at 6 a.m. just to wait for hours to get theirs. But yeah, man, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before in any console generation where it's this freaking crazy.
Well, at least it's sort of over.
It's
It's over for us, at least.
It's over for us. I feel like we're pretty confident that we will be getting consoles close to launch.
At least one of the two, hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope both for Jason's sake.
One of the two won't fall off
already
the back
paid
of the
me.
cargo ship or whatever. Yeah. I feel pretty confident about the PS5. I mean, that's going to be in store. I'll be there. Receipt in hand. I was a second in line. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll at least have our systems by that week. I never like the idea of when something is being that important is being shipped to you. I just don't like it. I like picking up at stores. I even called Target and was like, "Hey, is there any way I can get this like changed to go to store pickup instead of at my house?" Because like I don't live in a place where like I live in an apartment complex that's like it's right there. It's right there on the sidewalk basically. So I'm probably going to like leave like work at a certain point in the day when that's supposed to be delivered because I don't want to freaking have it sit there for a second really.
That was the same thing. I changed all the Best Buy shipping information to Jason, confirmed it, and then I went back and looked like an hour or two later, and they had changed it back to my original information.
So strange.
And they had grayed out the shipping changes button, so I couldn't change it anymore.
That's all scary stuff. I don't know. Whenever something like that's being shipped and there's so many and it's so much of that, I'm just like, ugh. There's going to be so many people saying, where's this? Where's my, especially Amazon. Oh my God. With the whole Amazon stuff. Where's my Xbox? Where's my PlayStation?
But at the same time, you would think that they would be the best because they have the most practice.
You freaking would.
Whereas Best Buy, they don't ship as much stuff. So
yeah. There were a lot of
and they're probably
switches
relying
delayed.
on like FedEx or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of switches delayed when the Switch launched at certain places where they're like people had to wait a few extra days to get their Switch.
As long as I know, like I'm fine. I just tell me like, okay, we're gonna get it there, but it's gonna be 2 days after release day or something.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that sucks, but oh well. Like I'm an adult, I can wait.
Exactly. As long as they tell you and communicate and not be nothing weird or anything. Having tracking is so nice.
We don't know where your system is. That would be the worst.
Amazon sometimes does that thing I really like where it like shows you the carrier that's taking your stuff. It's like says, "Oh, it's 5 stops away." I love that. I hope it does that.
I have a UPS account, and they actually have a truck tracker, kind of like a Domino's like pizza tracker.
That's very nice.
They have a truck tracker.
They're building your Xbox. Cool. It's in the oven. Gary is putting it together.
The whole manufacturing line tracker.
Oh my God! There it is. Oh, there's the processor.
Here's a video of Horace putting on the CPU on your system.
Oh, there goes the SSD. Oh my God!
Would you like to send a note to Horace? Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mr.
your
Horace.
hard work.
Okay, well, great. So I guess this kind of leads into this little tidbit. There's not too much to talk about here, but a lot of influencers and tech people have gotten a hold of the Series X. Gotten a hold. They sent all these to them. So
yeah,
they got a little bit of a preview. A few things to talk about for sure. I mean, they were given like a preview library to duel around with. The biggest thing to come out of this is the quick load and the loading times. Quick resume. Thank you. And the loading times, which seems stellar so far. They just seem fantastic.
I mean, I assume both of these systems are going to be just blowing the old systems out of the water. Just
can't wait, man.
I mean, the NVMe and PlayStation's custom drive, just it's different technology. I mean, it's like the difference between USB 2.0 and USB 3.0. It went from like 200 megabytes per second in USB 2.0 to I think it was like 5 gigs per second in USB 3.0. So it's just different technology. You know, it's like there's more copper and it moves much more faster. So it's like, we should be blown away by all this stuff. I don't think it gives you a perspective when you watch a video. It's different when it's on your TV in front of you and you're waiting on GTA 5 and you're used to waiting what is essentially 5 minutes for it to load,
something like that,
and it doesn't get past the first like couple pictures before it's like boom, you're in. That's gonna be the moment it's like I'm in the next gen.
It's smart of them.
I think that is the thing that's gonna blow us away, whereas like the graphics used to be like, this looks amazing. Well, games look pretty good now, so
true.
If we can just get moving, that could be really cool.
Them showing Final Fantasy 15 was a big one for me because I have gotten so impatient with those load times in Final Fantasy 15.
I watched that video. I watched the one you're talking about.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, Digital Foundry. Yeah. I watched
One,
that
it's
video.
crazy how long those loads took, and two, it's crazy how short they've gotten them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's crazy how it's still taking that long. It shows you like that's a massive game.
Yeah, it made me like not want to fast travel in that game. It made me be like, no, I'll walk. I'll just freaking walk, because I don't want to stare at that loading screen for what
Yeah.
2 minutes or whatever. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Red Dead and GTA 5, those are the ones for me that it was just, oh
Yeah,
my gosh. Ugh,
like
just terrible.
with Red Dead, I didn't notice as much because I just kept that game open. Pretty much, it was like the one game
Yeah.
I just had open and I never like closed it. So I just kept on putting it to sleep and going back to it. So I only loaded it like a few times,
Ugh,
I think.
so slow.
God, if it's anything like 5, it's
It takes so long for GTA 5 to start up. Then you finally get to the menu. Then oh my gosh, if you hit the single player and you meant to go to online,
oh no.
oh, you either have to wait for that all to load, then exit, then go back, or just restart the whole game over. And it's like both are terrible.
Yeah, it's a
None of this
disaster.
is good. But
So
hopefully it's a new day.
that's exactly right. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to it. And apparently, from what I hear, the guys at a Digital Foundry talking about, like, these are games that aren't even optimized for the systems that they're running on.
Yeah.
So, like, once you get those games that have that optimization, you should be getting like the snappiest freaking load times.
I agree, but I also feel like because they have that, what game developers always do is push the limits. So now the games are just going to get bigger. And so like the advantages are going to be almost in a little bit of a way like null and
Right.
void, because it's like, yeah, but now we have to load this world, which is 10 times the size of GTA 5. So it takes just as long as it did on Xbox One.
Like, I hope not, because like the thing is, it's like, I guess it's gonna be the detail, because like the worlds, how much bigger do we need these worlds to be? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
nowhere close to the point in GTA 5, which is a last gen game, to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I got that world figured out. I'm like, no, I'm still lost amongst
Yeah.
just how massive that world is. I don't know how much
It's a
bigger.
2013 game.
It's so old. And forget Red Dead 2, oh my god. And so it's like, I don't know
Yeah.
how much bigger they can get, but the detail.
I guess it'll be interesting to see how Cyberpunk, how big it is,
Mm-hmm.
because that'll be like the first really big RPG we've had in quite a while.
Yep.
Trying to think like big open world. I mean, we've had stuff like Final Fantasy 15, but that's more of like a story mode, not like full open world like The Witcher and GTA. And
Oh yeah, completely different.
yeah,
Almost.
I mean, has it been since Witcher? Maybe Monster World? Is Monster World like explorable open world?
Yeah, Monster Hunter
I
World
haven't played
is
it.
sort of like sectioned off. I mean, there's open world
Yeah.
sections that are big,
Hmm.
but it's still sectioned off between areas of the island.
More like Final Fantasy thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. There's some big ones that have come. Ghost of Tsushima was a really big one.
Mhm.
I
But
mean,
that's not where you
obviously-
can explore the whole map at one time, right?
Yeah, you
Or
can.
is it?
It is.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, but it's been a while since Odyssey, so
Yeah, but even then, Odyssey's a bunch of islands.
that's true. That's true.
Not like GTA where you can just like literally walk from one end to the next.
There's a lot of trickery there when it comes to long hallways and being on like the ocean. You can load in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Hidden
Yeah.
load screens,
Mhm.
I guess. So I have a question, Luke. Are you going to be buying any games that are launching along with the console? I know, like for instance, Valhalla.
What's launching?
Well, we have a lot of third-party games that are launching alongside the console. Valhalla, and honestly, I mean, like, Cyberpunk in short order is not launching alongside of either the Xbox or the PlayStation, but like the next week.
I mean, Cyberpunk for sure.
Mhm.
I have to own that game. I mean, I feel like in a world where honestly there's not that many games, there's a few exclusives that if I had PlayStation I would definitely be buying, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like there's a ton of games really.
No.
I just feel like it's a very dry fall. And it's kind of funny, like I've been thinking that, but I haven't really heard people talk about it. Like there's Call of Duty and there's Valhalla, but apart from that, there's not that many games. And a lot of these games, even like Spider-Man, it doesn't have an official release date. We really don't know when it's coming out.
Spider-Man's at launch.
They said release window. is what they said.
That's
So
for Ratchet and
we
Clank.
really don't know when it's going to come out.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank
No,
has a
Spider-Man's release window.
no. Spider-Man's at launch. Miles Morales is a PS5 launch game. It's oh fish.
I heard him say release window.
Huh. Well, either way, that's changed, and it will be a launch game along with Demon Souls, which Demon Souls I'm not gonna get, but Spider-Man definitely day one.
No.
But besides that, though, there's smaller games that are coming, but alongside of a few big third-party ones. Because I don't know how much hype you have for this game, but there's a lot of people are super hyped to play Valhalla on their Xbox and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks like a good game, and it's kind of funny when Movie Pass happened. Regal was really afraid that people would be scared to come back and pay $12 for a movie, and I poo-pooed that then. And honestly, they had a good point. And honestly, I'm feeling the same way about Game Pass. It's harder for me to go back and buy a $60 game when I pay my $15 a month. I get my Xbox Live Gold, and I get my Game Pass Ultimate, and I get my whatever it is, 100 plus games. And there's a lot in there I play. So, I do want to play Valhalla. I don't know if it's one that I want to pay full price for, especially if it's now going to be $70.
Oof, yeah,
a lot. So I want to play it. I do want to play it, but it's kind of like Odyssey. I came in on that one after it went on sale, maybe like a year or maybe even more than that after it came out, and I had some good fun with it. Yeah. So I may end up doing that. I don't know. It's just a little pricey for me on that one. I'm not so sold on it. It's definitely not like Cyberpunk where I'm like, I have to play that game.
Yeah.
It's
I have
like,
a wait and see.
I want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to play it, but not dying to play it. So,
yeah. I have a dude
see.
at work who's like counting down the seconds for it. And I'm just like, yeah, Valhalla, I mean, looks good.
Yeah.
I still have a wait and see.
I'm excited to see people excited like that.
Yes.
It gives me energy to see people excited about games. Like, even if they're not games that I'm excited about, it's like, dude, that is awesome. That's awesome. There's a really cool game coming out, like, that really is good for you. And like I said, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, have to have it. So
it kind of it's always interesting when you see that kind of like breaks you out of your own bubble where you're like, these are the things that I'm excited about. Everything else, I'm like, I wonder how excited people are. I don't really know. But I have like the same guy at work. He's like, oh my God, here it comes, man. Here it comes, Star Wars Squadron. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is coming out. That's right. That looks pretty good. Okay.
I think it's because you see so many people apathetic about things that it like it just gives you life to see people like excited for something.
Yeah.
To see people fanboying over something. It's like, yeah, that's awesome.
And we have so much of what we want to, there's so many games now. You can really create your own space of what the games that you want to play, and everything outside of it's like, okay, yeah, that's right. I'm sure someone out there likes it, but it's like, okay, no, there's someone out there who that's in their space.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was I could talk about. I'm so hyped for next gen, man. I could talk about it for so long, and we're here where we're a little bit over a month away, and so exciting times, man. Exciting times. All right, so what else we got? Don't want to run too long, but the few things we have to talk about, the fact that Regal is closing down. Every movie in the world has been delayed till April or something, and we're it's gonna be a while before we go back to the movies again, at least.
Yep. Oh, how I shall miss thee.
Yeah, and I'm bummed that there's so many of these movies that, are that I'm hyped about. That I'm not going to be able to see till next year. But, I'm trying to look at the silver lining. I want them to do well as well. I don't want to see them fail. Like, I don't want to see Black Widow do bad. I don't want to see James Bond do bad. But at the same time, it's a bummer. It's a real big bummer that kind of this big piece of like our fandom is kind of just kind of not there right now, which
Yeah.
I get it. I really do, but it sucks.
Yeah.
And they just announced Dune.
Pixar's Soul. I mean, that was a big one that they were really working up to.
Here it comes. Disney Premium or whatever it's called on Disney Plus or whatever. The Premium Pass. I bet. I don't know. That's my guess. This is what they're going to do with Soul, but who knows?
In this update, they're still saying November.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it all depends on if the theaters are opened up, right? I mean, if Regal doesn't open up, who can open up a theater without all of Regal? I mean, that's a lot of the country.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be able to see it.
There's no way they'd be able to run just on AMC and then the smaller chains. But we'll see. We'll freaking see. But there's not really much to talk about on that. We're just moaning and groaning about it, which, yeah, moan and groan for sure. One thing I wanted to bring this up because I thought it's just the craziest thing. I forgot to mention this to you, Luke, that the new Smash Brothers character has been announced and will be released later this week. Crazy, man.
It's so silly.
So silly, so crazy. I remember like watching the trailer live, being like, okay, here it freaking comes. And I was really like, oh, I was like shook when I saw it. So they are adding Steve from Minecraft into Super Smash Bros. It's just so funny. It's just so funny. And he looks like
Xbox Twitter has a fun way of like just talking back and forth with studios and with Nintendo, and they're just joshing around. It's great. I was looking through some of that the other day.
Nintendo seems to have a really good relationship with Microsoft.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, they seem to kind of get some of these games first, like Ori or Ori, Will o' the Wisp, and Cuphead, and now they've already made the agreement to put Banjo in Smash, which Banjo is a character that's owned by Rare, who is owned by Microsoft, and so they've made another deal to get Steve from Minecraft into this. So that's really cool, and I see a lot of that cross promotion, which is really funny.
Yeah. They were talking about like all the people that should be added, and they were saying the Doom Slayer should be the next.
Yeah, right.
Of course, Master Chief.
I would love Master Chief. Like,
great.
seriously, that is one of the ones I'm like, come on, Master Chief, come on, because as I think it is cool that like, okay, this is like Xbox representation. It would just be surreal if Master Chief was added. That would be like, okay, there it is. There's your Xbox person, and then I'd want to see like Nathan Drake or someone like that added, and I'd be like, oh my god, this is perfect. This is great. But I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it would be awesome.
Do they have a lot of shooting in Smash?
No, they have some characters who shoot a lot, but it just depends. There's some ranged characters like Samus and a Solid Snake. They have a lot of projectiles. It is still kind of surreal that Snake is in that thing.
It is. It's so strange.
But yeah,
it feels like everything's gonna go there eventually, doesn't it?
No, it's like I'm waiting for
just
like
balloons and balloons.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ultimate, man. This is the one. If they're gonna do it ever, do it now and just put it all here.
That's right.
But that made me really happy because
I putting Disney characters in
there. Scrooge McDuck. All right, let's do this. But
would be the ultimate is Foxx characters going in there. That would be the ultimate, like Predator.
Predator.
You would just have to tone down all the violence.
Make it
Sully. Sweat instead of blood.
Exactly. That is something. There was like there's a move that happens in Persona because Joker's in there, and the final smash is it's called the all out attack, and in Persona 5 like there's like blood that sprays out, but in this it's just stars that come out. So hey, there's your compromise.
Of course.
But anyways, that was cool. I wanted to get your take on this real quick, Luke, before we wrap this up. So it was announced, well, kind of reported, I guess I should say, but it's all but been officially announced with everything that the actor's saying about it. But so the report is that Jamie Foxx is returning in the next Spider-Man sequel.
Oh, yeah.
As Electro.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening?
So weird.
What is happening?
Ugh. Yeah, I have no idea what to even think about that. I mean, do timelines not matter? does people's fates not matter?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we doing a Spider-Verse kind of
mean,
deal?
Yeah, I feel like Marvel is in a weird place, and it just seems to get weirder, especially with COVID. Like that's thrown a whole monkey wrench into it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like ever since Endgame, it's just I don't feel like they really know where they're going, and I feel like this proves it even more.
Maybe
It's
not.
just they're just kind of throwing things up there and being like, oh, maybe people will enjoy this.
And you gotta kind of think even more so with Spider-Man because like this is like with these solo movies, it's a shared property. So I'm not sure if Sony's like got its elbow in Kevin Feige's side. Like, hey,
Oh, Sony, don't.
what do you think? How about
Like every decision you've ever made's not been good for this franchise. Don't do that.
pretty much, except maybe for Spider-Verse, but that's its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but weird. I just wanted to bring that up because it's so strange. I'm excited to hear more about it. I mean, what I would personally love to see all the live action Spider-Man like together. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Tobey Maguire is very old. But maybe Andrew Garfield. I don't freaking know, but that would be crazy. That would be just wild.
He's not that old, Jordan. He's probably as old as we are.
Don't ever say that to me ever again. Which one, Andrew Garfield or Toby?
Toby. He's probably a few years older than us.
No, Toby.
Yes, he probably is.
Can't be.
I bet he's barely older than us.
All right, here we go.
I bet he's in his late 30s.
No.
Maybe 40.
No, please. I can't be that old. I can't even look him up. Oh, there he is. All right, he was born. All right, so he's about 12 years older than me. Was born in 1975.
He looks younger than that.
But he still looks pretty good.
Well done, Toby.
He can come back. He can do it. He needs to work out again, but he can do it. Just do a few push-ups. I don't know. Or not, and you can just be like...
He could just be like the Batman version. He's like, he's like teaching the younger ones.
Yeah, he's the
how to climb walls and do upside-down kisses and stuff. All the important things.
No, you're crying all wrong. This is how you cry. Because I cry a lot.
This is how you dance down the street.
Oh, my God.
God.
You gotta just, ooh. Come on, dig that beat.
My least favorite scene in any superhero movie. It's so uncomfortable.
It's pretty wretched. I can't argue with you there. It's pretty horrible. Well, that about does it. We had a lot of ground to cover this episode with just kind of all the new stuff that's been going on in the last couple weeks.
We did it like the professionals we are.
We got through it, man. And all right, here's to more news coming out next week. We haven't heard much about the PlayStation 5, like not a lot of hands-on. Like some YouTubers got their hands on it, saying the load times are fast and it's quiet. The stuff that you'd like expect. And I'm like, come on, I want to know what some of the backwards compatibility is like. I want to see some of the UI. Show me the goods. And so I'm wanting to see.
Even the Xbox, they didn't talk about as much as I would like to have talked about. So there's definitely some stuff they've signed.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got all these people playing with it, and so they're ready. I'm sure they're ready to talk about it, but there's gotta wait until Microsoft says yes. But anyways, I suppose that's our show, and I will watch the third day. I'm looking forward to watching it. I think the trailer is intriguing.
We have more to watch than I realized.
Yeah, well, I'll catch up with you at least. But I guess it's far from halfway over. Never mind, 6 episodes, not that long.
Yeah.
But I'll get into it. All right, man. Well, as always, it's a pleasure and an honor to be in a window next to you.
I feel the same.
Talking into a microphone. Until next week, Luke and everybody else. See ya.
See ya.